Right, welcome back to the channel. Apologies, it's been some time since I've actually done a bike video. Put out a few bits in between, a few questions I've had on previous videos, tools, etc. Anybody wants to go and have a look at the tool video, it was basically a question that I was asked of what would I recommend for starting out. So there's a link up in the corner to that video, so go and have a look at that after this video is finished. Like I said, I'm still working on both the Triumph and the Z650. Both seem to be causing me massive headaches. I'm on the Triumph at the moment. That has been a while since I've actually done a video on the Triumph. It's just been a slow process of just going through, finding out what problems have arisen, trying to get the clutch sorted out, trying to get a cable sorted, because when you've got, you know, I ordered a stock cable for it and it was still too long, so I've ended up actually making my own. So the clutch is now actually engaging and working. There's still a bit of adjustment to do. Main problem is the gearbox. When I was going through setting everything up, I made sure that the gearbox was actually going through all of its gears, 1 up and 3 down. So it's only a 4-speed box, and everything went through. I went through every gear, got every gear, which was great. Went to go back into neutral and the whole thing locked up and it just will not move. So I'm in the process of obviously going back in. I've got a spark plug, I've got new plugs to fit. I've ordered new spark plug caps, and I've got another bit of HT lead to replace as well. Just going back through. I've done another test on the ignition coils, and they seem to be kicking out the right amount. So whether it was a fault with, like I say, I checked all the electrics under the tank, went back through, checked the connections. So maybe it was a problem there. So I thought I'd put new plugs in it as well, but at the moment I'm in the process of actually starting to strip out the gearbox and find out why it's locked and why I just can't get anything. Regarding the Z650, again, slow process. I'm still having problems with the exhaust. It won't line up. It keeps blowing. I've put new exhaust gaskets in. It just, something's not quite right, so I'll cover that in another video. Again, one thing I want to say, apologies to Pippa and Ian that this has taken so long. Everything went through quite well. The build went brilliantly. Unfortunately, it's one of them things that things happen. It is an unknown entity, and I'm learning as I go. But as I say, the bike runs. Sometimes it kicks over first, second time. Sometimes it will take 5, 6 kicks. Apparently that's quite normal. I've managed to get, let's say, the fuel's flowing, it's not dripping, we're not leaking, the carb's set up as it should be. So everything is working in that respect fine. Obviously I had no clutch. I see now to have clutch. That needs a slight adjustment. But it's the gearbox, it just won't go. So I'll show you where I'm at the moment. I'm just in the process of going, let's say I've had that gearbox, the cover out a couple of times. But it looks like maybe the whole gearbox has got to come out, which is going to be a long job. So I'll show you where I'm at, just to give you a rough idea. I say, if anybody's got any ideas of why it's locked, you know, how could it go from having gears to not having gears? It seems to be, well, when I take the cover off I'll actually show you. I think my good friend Steve will probably be the one that will give me a message. But let's have a look. So as I say, I'm just starting to, as I say, everything's still, all the actual footrest bracket was all loose fit. Nothing was tightened down because I've had to go in and have a look. But it won't go up. it won't go down. It's literally stuck in a no man's land. So it is a case of all these screws and the 2 bolts to come out. I say the clutch cable is now sorted. Again, it does need a little bit more of adjustment, but I checked it in the cap, inspection cap on the side, and you can actually see it moving in and out. So we know that's now okay. That took some time. I literally had to start from scratch, build a cable, solder the ends, but that seems to have come out alright. One of these leads I've already replaced, so I've got to make another one up. And as I said, I'm going to go with these were the caps that were originally with it when I got it. So ordered a couple more and some plugs so we can get that fitted, and a length of HT cable, so that should hopefully solve that. But let me get this cover off. I'll have to put something underneath because it will drip, and then I'll show you the actual selector. Right, so that's the 2 bolts and all the screws. Alright, so there's all the mechanism inside. Alright, let me get this moved out of the way. So there's only a little bit of oil. But that's the thing, this selector now is up at its highest in. Now if you remember to actually, when I actually set this up, I'll show you a clip of it now. In a completely different position. All I've done is gone through the gears, but it seems to have locked itself up and it won't come back down. Permanently jammed. That is the issue I've got, which means I have no gears, which means it starts. I can engage, well, I can pull the clutch in, but it's not going to do anything because I can't engage a gear to actually go forward. I mean, if anybody has got any ideas, I will keep tinkering and having a look and see if I can try and free this up, because it will mean literally there's a bolt actually underneath the gearbox, so I can drain out the gearbox oil. And then it will be take this whole panel, which is screwed in there and there, pull that whole panel off. Obviously I'm going to have to remove this nut There's a close push rod, and see if that will move, because that sits on like a can plate, which is almost shaped, well, as I said it, almost like a Christmas tree. And again, that was set up, I did an extensive video on that, of what position it should be in. I'll put a link up in the top corner to that video, so if anybody wants to go back and have a look, they are more than welcome. But why that won't actually move is jammed solid. But let me know in the comments box below. As I say, I'm going to keep tinkering and see if I can free it, but that's what's causing me the problems, and that's what's holding this bike from being finished. Yeah, so like I said, that's where I'm up to at the moment, and the problem I've got with how the selector is just literally jammed itself. So if anybody's got any ideas in the comments box below, I appreciate your feedback. I am going to keep going through. I may even start to actually disassemble and start to go in and find out where the problem is. I say, because I checked and double checked when I set it up that everything was right, and I did have, I say, all 4 gears. So, and then suddenly no, and then it's jammed itself, and as you've seen, the actual selector has just gone all the way to the top and just won't move. So like I say, I'll probably keep continuing on. I'll probably drain out the gearbox fluid. There's a plug underneath. But yeah, I'll wait to hear from from what you can come up with here. Anybody's got any ideas on Triumphs? I say the gearbox is quite a job to actually try and squeeze it in. It's not much of a space. I'll leave a link to that video up in the top corner if anybody wants to go back and have a look at that. But like I say, I'm going to keep plodding on and see where we get to, but apologies that progress has been quite slow on both bikes. It's been, I suppose, a little bit frustrating, but you know, I'm going to persevere with it and keep going, and I'm determined to get both bikes totally finished. The Triumph is very, very close. The Z650 a little bit further away, but heading in the right direction. There are links to other videos at the end of the video, and as always, I appreciate your support. Big thank you to everybody, and join me again in the next episode. Cheers, bye.